I've been working on my Latch Lock system. This web UI should be familiar to anyone who's watched any of the previous videos. It's just the web UI, what's actually on the device itself. The most notable feature I've been working on at the moment is the wait for latch system. The latches have little micro switches in them which can detect if the latch is opened or closed. So what this allows us to do is say, don't start the countdown until all the locked latches have been engaged. So we can say we'll set a timer for 1 minute. Wait for latch. We will say we'll just want the left wrist, and we'll say lock. And it will now come up and it will say the lock's been applied, but it's now waiting for the left wrist lock to be engaged. So I'll just click a cuff into that now. And as soon as that last lock was engaged, the countdown started. Now, how I have it set is that it rounds up to the minute. So if you set like a 1 minute lock, but you started 1 second after the minute, it will actually round up to 1 minute 59 seconds. And something I'm still playing about with. I don't know if I'm going to keep that or not, or change it. So I don't know yet. Locks are also now you can now set the names for the locks. So instead of just having lock 1, 2, 3, 4, you actually know which lock is which. That's handy for like if you're locking yourself, and it says, oh, which lock hasn't engaged, right? You know which lock you might need to jiggle a little bit, because these latches they're great, they're good, they're not 100% perfect. We do have a safety feature built in where, like, if the locks haven't, the latches haven't been engaged after 5 minutes, it will automatically just unlock everything, just as a safety thing, just in case the micro switch stops working, and it says, "Oh, the latch hasn't taken," and that was the thing unlocking. Right. So yeah, if we go into the lock settings, you can see that you can name each individual lock. You can set the timeout for that safety feature I was talking about, and I've just made it so you can change the individual random offset times. What random offset does is, like, you say, oh, 2 hours. If you enable random offset, it will be like plus or minus. So we've got here like a downward offset of 30 minutes, upwards offset 30 minutes. So if you set a 2-hour timer, it will actually unlock it will set the time for somewhere between 1.5 hours and 2.5 hours. And if you combine that with the hide unlock time, so you don't know how long the time is going to last for, that adds a bit more fun to it. But that's not the only thing I've actually been working on. I've actually been working on a remote control for this, because this is just on the local network. Right, so this, you have to be connected to the Wi-Fi to be able to get to this panel. But I thought, well, let's make it remote control, because I was doing stuff with the Alexa anyway, and I needed a remote panel to do the Alexa stuff. So I was like, well, why don't we just add the extra functionality to it? So if I go into device settings and I go to Alexa bridge, I need to rename this because it's no longer just a bridge. So we'll pair a device. We'll take the adopt code. We'll put it in here and we'll hit register the device. You see it's been linked, and now it's just going to connect to the actual the message broker. Now that's it. That's connected. And if we go to the device panel in here, we'll see that the new device has been added and it's lit up a green. Now I'm just going to rename this so I don't get them confused. So I'll say chair. And I need to create an ordering system here because, like, it's just ordered alphabetically at the moment. So that was actually at the bottom before. Now it's jumped up a place. I'm going to just put in an ordering system so you can drag these about and just order them however you like, but whatever. It's just that this is my dev board and this is the actual wheelchair at the moment. So from the remote control panel, you can actually do almost everything as you can do from the web panel. So we can go in here and we can say, let's set a let's set a lock for 1 minute. I've got to make this little selector a little less sensitive. And we can change the custom options just for this lock. So we can say automatically lock. I'm on the chair. Yeah, we'll say wait for the latches collective. And we'll say engage the locks. And as soon as we've engaged the locks, you can see over here, it's popped up saying the locks have been engaged, and it's waiting for the latches to start. Now I'm just going to disengage all the locks because I only wanted to lock one of the locks. So we could say, okay, let's just lock the left wrist. I'll say lock. So I'm going to lock. You can see that the left wrist is now waiting for it to be latched. So I'm just going to go and do that. And you can start. I should have scrolled up, but up here you can now see that this is now latched, and the time is now ticking. I'm just going to disengage the locks because, like, 1 hour, we're waiting here an hour. Right, but what's the fun of being able to disengage the locks remotely if you're the one who's in control? Just reach for the phone and log into the web app. And you might have seen it already, but we got a sharing button. So let's go into sharing, and we will say that we're going to share this device with another user. Now, I've already got the account set up as super, another account on here set up as super. But if you just type in someone's email address here, you can say to them, hey, email them the invite. If they don't have the account, account on the system, they can click a link, create an account, automatically adopt the device. Well, because I've already got the account on here, I'm just going to say, hey, create the invite. It will say the invite's been sent to super. So if I bring up super, ta-da! Right, so this is the other account. And they can now say, oh, somebody's invited you to share their device with you. So we'll say yes, accept. And now we got the device over here. When you share a device, I'll do it on the dev board just to show you. There's two options here saying a guest and a supervisor. A guest can only set the locks. They can't change any of the names, they can't do anything this or the other. Supervisor technically has more control over the device than the owner of the device does. So we will set, that's what I did over here, I'll set them as a supervisor. And in their settings, they can lock the owner out of certain things from their things. So they can say that the owner cannot disengage the locks and the owner cannot manage any more sharing. So they can hit save. And like a supervisor can invite other people to the lock as well. If we go into the devices and we go into the locks, now the user can set their own locks whatever they want on here, but so can the supervisor. And if So the user can say, hey, I'm going to set the lock for, so the supervisor can say, I'm going to set the lock for, we'll say an hour. Same thing, you can change the settings to say, wait for latch, automatically unlock, and then engage the locks. And now it's just saying, waiting for latch. I'm just going to disengage the locks because I only want to lock one of them just for the demonstration. So we'll say all locks, we'll say left wrist, we'll say engage the locks. You can see that it's waiting for the left wrist to be locked. So we click it in, and now it's been locked. And on the user side of the device, oh, no wonder, I'm on dev board, not chair. So if we go back into him, we'll say chair. So in the chair one, they are locked out of the left wrist. And you'll see that the supervisor has the disengage lock button, but the user, the owner of the account, they don't. They can set the lock. They can set these additional locks if they wished. They could, like, say, just the left wrist is locked, but they can set the other locks if they wish. But they don't have to. But they can't unset the lock. When the supervisor's added on the account, only the supervisor can set it. Well, a supervisor can grant access to a user to say they can unlock their own locks if they wish. If they wish, and it basically automatically updates when it's able to, but they can lock it out. So this is you, the owner of the account. You can give this to somebody else, and now they can control your lock. And if we go back to the actual device, the web UI automatically updated, and again, they can't unlock anything because it's like some locks still have time locks enabled, so you can't unlock those locks. So yeah, that's what I've been working on as late. There's still bugs. I'm not happy with the UI. I want to change how the UI looks. But yeah, that's what I've been working on past week.